Fear of rejection. That's a common word used in like dating advice. The reason that you can't approach is you've got fear of rejection. So what is that? That is your mind imagining a worst case scenario, imagining embarrassment, imagining ridicule if you were to approach that woman. So same thing, like you see the girl, not only are you not feeling in the right mood, you're in the haze. Now specific to approaching that woman, you've got all these negative emotions coming up around the idea of being able to approach that woman. So I call this projection, and it's the mind making up a scenario about what's going to happen, and you're imagining it so vividly, you're almost believing in it, like you're in a dream, like it's actually about to happen, that you just won't approach because the fear that projection has created has just completely stifled you. Like she's too good looking, she's too tall, I'm not going to know what to say, she's in a rush, if I do approach her, I might annoy her, she's going to tell me to fuck off, she's probably got a boyfriend, I'm not feeling at my best self. All of this like fear, these are the visualizations and the thoughts that you have due to the fear of rejection. It's still coming from that internal critic. And actually, it's a self-protection mechanism. It's not like necessarily this enemy within. It's like it's trying to prevent you from damaging yourself emotionally, because if you get rejected too many times and you are in your head and you're not conscious and you're not free, it will actually affect your self-esteem on the level of identity. So it's there for a reason, but you've got to understand that. So what's the solution? Understanding that it's not personal. Because you think the reason that you feel down and the reason that you've got fear of rejection is a personal thing. You haven't made it in life. Like, you're not where you want to, but you've got to understand that every single person, or nearly every single person in this room, is experiencing exactly the same thing. So it's mind, it's not reality, it's not personal to you, it's a process that happens coming from your internal critic. And again, the same thing, the first thing to alleviate from that is the awareness. It's like, right, I can see these projections, I can see my mind is telling me not to do it, coming up with all these reasons that haven't actually manifested in external reality but make me feel like they're going to happen and they're terrifying me. And see that in your mind, literally see that projection, that fear of rejection, the specific scenarios that it's bringing up, and fight back against it. Win that fight against the internal critic. It's like, how do we do that? Integration of the warrior. You've got the internal critic on one side. If you listen to that your whole life, you're never going to elevate. You're never going to do nothing. So this is why guys like boot camps, because what's actually happening on the boot camp, when you've got a coach pushing you, he's acting as your reparent. Like he's trying to build your confidence temporarily so that you can learn how to go for it. So he pushes you and gets you to approach women to make you realize that projection, that story that you told yourself about how the woman's going to be horrible and she's going to respond negatively, doesn't actually happen. Because most times, unless you're absolutely being a weirdo or you're being too pushy or you're super, super anxious, women are at least going to be friendly. Very rarely has it happened to me where a woman's punched me in the face or told me to fuck off or told me I'm ugly. The worst I've had is like, no, sorry, don't want to talk to you. That's usually the worst. So the reason boot camps are so popular and people love them is because you've got a coach going approach, go for it, say this. And it's like you're getting reinforcement and you're getting reference points that story in the mind from the internal critic is not actually true. It's a mirage, something that holds you back. Same with anything, like in your place of work, if you do public speaking or, you're in sales, you've got imposter syndrome, you've got an internal critic that's saying that you can't do this. And then you learn. When you apply yourself, you learn. The worst case scenario usually never happens. So what you want to be doing is training that skill to recognize that fear of rejection is not you being a loser. It's not you being a failure. It's not that you lack confidence. We've all got that. It's just the reason it doesn't bother me so much is I've learned how to deal with it. But I still see it. I still get these exact same thoughts that you get when I see a woman. She's too tall. She's blonde. She's going to blow me out. She looks like she goes for this type of guy. I'm not that. I'm 44. You're too old. You're too short. Blah, blah. I still get that. But I learned to smile at it because I've trained that mechanism of what we call integration of the warrior. The warrior is you telling yourself and permitting yourself, that you're going to fucking go for it and go for what you want and feeling proud of it before you even approached. That's how you can change your state immediately when you're talking to a woman. Where is the focus? When you're crippled with anxiety or you're doubting yourself or you feel sad that you can't approach a woman, your mind is focused on absolute doom and gloom. The worst case scenario, why you're never going to get this, you're never going to meet a woman. That's not helping you, but you're unconscious. So the integration of the warrior is to go, hang on, fuck this. I've got my own back. I'm happy that I even thought about approaching that woman. I like her. She's attractive. I'm working on my social skills and I'm going to be proud of myself, win, lose or fucking draw, whatever happens, I've got my own back. They call that reparenting in psychology. We call it integration of the warrior. You become your own support network. You tell yourself that you're proud of what you're doing and the fact that you're working on yourself, and you decide the metrics of what success is. The metric is not the woman responded well. Easier said than done, because when you're struggling, you want the attention, you want the validation. The metric is, did you take action? Did you go for it? Did you at least take that step towards it? Did you try and hold that conversation? And then as soon as that interaction ends, did you try and hold yourself in there? So when the internal critic's kicking in, go, get out of there, you look at a fool, embarrassing, a boyfriend might come out the toilet, she looks like she's losing interest in you, like holding yourself in that interaction. That's how you build that margin and that space to be grounded, like breathing deep and focusing on her. I'll talk more about that later. But the metric of the integration of the warrior is the action that you're taking, not the result. And in your ego, I know that's easier said than done because you want the result, you want the sexy girl, you want to get laid, you want a girlfriend, but you're never going to be able to do that if you're controlled by your internal critic. So you have to change the metric. And the metric is, I'm fucking proud for going for it. And I'm joyous and I'm excited about the fact that I've introduced myself to a woman that I find attractive and I'm able to just be present and talk to her and not worry about too much about what to say. And then when you walk away from that, whether it goes well, or whether it goes bad, or whether the interaction is cut short, you've absolutely made progress. You know, like to be able to approach that woman and do anything, hey, excuse me, oh, don't worry, like that's progress. But what's your ego trying to expect too much? There's no fucking way that you're going to be able to go up to a girl, attract her, get physical, charm her for 3 hours and take her home to your hotel, unless you start from where you're at. So any action is success.